I almost cannot believe what I'm saying right now, but you can actually make money, loads of money, just by installing a couple browser extensions. If you've never heard about this, this most certainly sounds like a scam. And I don't blame you, right? But the thing is, we are dealing with crypto here. And in crypto, unbelievable things happen. Things that don't even make any sense. Let's start there. Now, what I'm talking about here actually is what is called as DePIN, which is abbreviation for decentralized physical infrastructure. Now, this is a new type of technology that is built upon blockchains and decentralized infrastructures. So, as of today, total DePIN market capitalization stands at $21.2 billion. And just within the past 24 hours, more than $1 billion of these coins have been traded back and forth. Now, I know you're here for the money, but if you do not fully understand this, let me just take a second away before I give you the goal. And I am going to give you the exact projects that you need to install, how you can install it, and how you can maximize the money you can earn from these projects. Now, before that, now let me quickly explain what DePIN is for everyone that do not understand this, and how this is actually useful, and why this is valued at a whopping $21 billion. Now, that is not a small sum, and that is for a reason. See, if you're not living in a rock, you've probably heard about AI, and if you heard about AI, you most certainly know about NVIDIA. And the reason NVIDIA shot up to like $1 trillion valuation is because of GPUs. And GPUs are a very integral part of developing AI models because that is what we use to train them and also run them. And there is a shortage of this, and that's exactly why NVIDIA has been able to almost monopolize this industry and make a ton of money. And so, what DePIN does is basically decentralize the access to GPIs and internet and all such physical resources. Now, what DePIN as a sector does is that decentralize the access to these physical resources like GPU, internet, etc. Now, something is known as decentralized when the control of it doesn't lie in the hands of a single person. I'll quickly explain this with a simple example. So let's take school. Now, the power to give you grades lies in the hands of your teacher. Now, that is centralized. If a single teacher wouldn't be able to give you the grades, but let's say a network of teachers, so let's say 10 to 100 or even 1,000 teachers voted upon what grade you would get. Now, that decision of giving you the grade doesn't lie in the hand of a single teacher, but many teachers. So now this is decentralized while this is centralized. Now let's go back to DePIN. Now you probably have an idea of what this stands for and the mechanism behind how you'd be making money. And that would be our next point. And that is the next part, money. So if we go back to this page and scroll down, you see that there are a ton of coins here that are behind this DePIN narrative. Now, if I click on grass, now you can see that a single token of grass currently costs $2.3, and its all-time high was back in December 2024 at $3.38 from it, and it rallied from 0.89.9 back in October to 3.6 in December. Now that is almost more than a TX if my math is right. But you see, this was actually an airdrop. I was talking a lot about this back in 2024, and they are still running the season 2, which I'll get into the projects that you need to actually farm in just a second, as I've already said before. But I just wanted to show you that what is possible, and also I'll get into the way of how you can actually get these tokens and how you can sell them. But before that, I have a Telegram channel, and everybody that was in there, almost everyone that followed me, made a bank on grass. So yeah, if you also want latest airdrop information on how you can farm these, and all the latest DeFi alpha and how you can make massive money from using different DeFi strategies, you need to join this channel. Just go click on the first link in the description and you can join this Telegram channel. Now, going back, let's actually talk about how you're going to make money. These actually work on the basis of points. So the more you run the node, meaning whenever you install this extension onto your device is now converted into a node on their network. Now you earn points for running this network. So the more points you have, the more tokens, obviously. And also you need to keep in mind that 1 point is not always equal to 1 token. Because the calculations for each project on how they're going to do the airdrop is going to vary. Now, if you aren't familiar of an airdrop, basically what we're doing here is farming an airdrop. That is what it stands for. You'd get a bag of tokens of the project when they at the token generation event TGE for using their project, right? But in deep in here, you'd basically be getting the tokens even after the airdrop is finished because you giving the resources to that network. Now, as you might already understand, or you may not, obviously the more points you have, the more tokens you have, and the more tokens you have, the more money you make. Now, as you might have already understand, or you might not understand, is that This is basically like almost a double-edged sword, but your side of the sword pointing to you is very small, which means you almost have no risk for you because farming these airdrops is free, so you do not have to put down any capital for this. And also, this sector of the airdrops takes a very less time for you to farm it because you just install it and keep it running in the background. But if you have spent a lot of time and effort farming every one of these airdrops and the token doesn't happen to do well, lost that time, and you wouldn't be able to make that much money. But the thing is, the risk for you is almost minimized, while there is almost unlimited upside if you happen to farm a good airdrop and their token just skyrockets as it did with grass. Now, moving forward, what do you actually do? Well, there are three ways. You can use the main PC, which is obviously easier because you just keep it running in the background while you're working, which is what I do for some of the projects. And also, you might not consider this safe as they are using your internet and you might be afraid of what data they are collecting about you. So, yeah, it depends. But for most of the projects, I just happen to use this. I just create a separate Chrome profile for browser extensions, for these extensions, and then I just keep them running in the background. But it's probably not safe because you don't know what data they are collecting on you, if they are, and also they might affect your computer with virus or something of sort. Now, so the second option, and for that reason, the second option would be using a secondary PC, either your old laptop or your old PC, a secondary device, right? Now it's a lot safer because you probably wouldn't care about the data that's on there, or it's safer if that gets infected because that is just your secondary. And but it can be hard to just keep it running, or it could be easier depending upon your situation. But yeah, this would be the best option to do if you do have access to this and you can do this. This would be the best option for you. And also, yeah, again, this is what I do for some of the other projects that I do not trust totally. And for the third option is to just use it on a mobile phone. It is the easiest to run on. I don't, and again, there is the concern of safety. But some of the projects that I'm going to tell you about might not work on a mobile phone. But to run this, to do this, you just need to install TV browser. I imagine you cannot probably do this on an iOS, but it works well on Android. So Kiwi browser is a good one, and I also found out Yandex. Now I haven't really tried this, but yeah, it should work. You just basically install the extensions as you do on a PC. Just install them on phone and then just keep them running in the background. Now, whatever option you pick out of these three, just make sure you have at least 100 hours of uptime. You need to have at least 100 hours of you running that. I'll show you. They have dashboards of you checking this. So just make sure your lifetime is at least 100 hours, but the more, the better because the more uptime you have, the more tokens you get, the more money you make. So yeah, but 100 hours is the baseline. If you have less than 100 hours of uptime, the projects might not just consider giving you any tokens at all because that is like very minimal, and it is important to reward everyone that have been using it and providing the resources. So yeah, just keep this in mind. That is a very important point to keep in mind. Now, let's get into what you're actually here for. The projects that you need to start farming. The good projects, the bad ones, the good ones, the not so good ones, the great ones, and what is going to give you the maximum returns on whatever that. And what are the projects that are going to give you the maximum returns? Now, these are the list of projects that I'm going to suggest to you. Get into that in a second, but now these are the projects that I'm going to suggest to you. And also, I need to mention that I've left a link for all these projects down in the description for you to go and install directly. And I recommend highly that, and also just for transparency, they are my referral links. It's not going to cost you anything or it's not going to take anything from you, obviously. But the thing is, so if you do use my links, you'd get a multiplier like 1x or 2x. I don't know, it depends. Or you'd get like a percentage boost like 15%, 20, 30%, or you just get outright points just for using my referral link. It starts from like 1,000, 10,000, all the way to like 100 to 100,000 points just for using the link. So I highly just suggest you just use my link. But, why not? You'll be happy and I'll be happy. And it's good to see everybody happy. Now, I've created this list as a tier list from the best ones to the bad ones. This is their Twitter handle. So the first one is Bless Network. The second one is Inference Net. Before they used to call themselves Cusco, but they've changed the name. And I think it's not available right now for the public to join. But I just say you just keep an eye on them, or just join my Telegram and I'll give you the update when it is live for the public to start farming it again. And also, just so you're aware, I've already shared all these projects and the tier list with everybody in the Telegram. So yeah, you are watching this at a later point in time. So again, I suggest you join the Telegram. Moving on, the third project I like now, except for Gradient HQ. So these are their Twitter handles, so you can just go and search for this exact thing and you'd be landing on the official site. Also, you can just go directly to their website by clicking the links in the description. But yeah, Gradient is another one that I like. They're doing good stuff. And then at the fourth stage, I have two projects that I like. One is called as Dawn Internet. Now, actually, this is a project that has a lot of funding compared to all of these. So yeah, but kind of doesn't have that much of a good UX on their extension. So yeah, I don't know about that. But another one is also Grass, the one that's already live. They're running their season 2 Epoch 8. So yeah, just make sure you join that as soon as possible. And also for Grass, join their desktop node because that is going to give you 2x points for just the same amount of uptime. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And the fifth one is NodePay. Again, it's a good project. Join it. And then we have Tenio protocol. Tenio. I don't know. Whatever that is, that's the spelling. At the seventh, we have Blockmesh. Now, these guys are actually the winners of a hackathon and have some funding from Solana themselves. So, yeah, kind of bullish on them. I don't really like it, but let's see. Eighth stage, we have Toggle, then Kaiser Network, then we have Solix DePIN, then we have Naoris, I don't know, Naoris protocol. Now, these are the 11 or 12 projects I am farming, and I would suggest farming for anybody or what I would be farming. I forgot to mention just one thing. I've already made a video, a full guide on some of these projects. So on the right side, that's the playlist that's popping up. Left side, I have the latest video that's available right now. So yeah, just go click on anyone you like and just make sure to join my Telegram and subscribe because I'm going to be dropping more guys like this almost every week from now on.